Good morning, guys. 9:31 Wednesday. Apologies for the delay with this video. Just been busy with family life, to be honest with you, and not too much happening. We were looking at Bitcoin when we were in this invest head and shoulders. Now, I'll be honest with you, I thought this move down sort of invalidated the pattern, but we then had a strong move up, breakout of upper trend line, and then continuation upwards. Okay. And then we were just ranging for a little bit, but we were in this rising channel. Okay. So we're in this rising channel. Price action was trading upwards. And then we had this breakout, possibly little bull trap there, and then that moved back down, held the pattern, and we've just seen this breakdown now. So what we're trying to ascertain just with this video, very much short-term action and what's likely to happen and what to look out for. And I think here this is the 8-hour time frame. I'm just going to flip over to the 4-hour time frame, and two things to watch here. So maybe three things to watch here, but obviously we've seen that breakdown. So let's just draw that trend line in there. Okay, I'm just going to change that to 2 pixels. Okay, because that becomes resistance. So what was previous support will become resistance. And I guess what we're looking for now is whether Bitcoin can break back into this pattern and continue upwards. To me, I think that's unlikely at the moment. Okay, I'm just going to change this fib level here as well. So 236. I'm going to change that to red because that becomes resistance on another set of fibs. So I'm just going to change that there just so we clarify the 382, which is the fib levels on this short-term move from here to here. Okay, we're just clarifying where resistance is, and then we got fib levels here on a slightly larger move that I'm keeping an eye on. But you essentially got an area of confluence here. You've got resistance, 2 sets of fibs, and then you've got this trend line. So I'm expecting at the moment for there to be a bearish retest of this area, possibly this area, and then a continuation lower. We need to see whether this holds or not. So 0.5, 16,734 is support at the moment. Okay, so that's where Bitcoin is bounced. We've hit it once, we've hit it again, and we're just bouncing a third time off this area. Okay, if you go down to the 1-hour time frame, kind of see what's been happening in this zone. Okay, so 16,734. We can see we tested it once, tested it again, currently moving up, but I'm not expecting too much at the moment. I think stocks are currently taking a bit of a hit. Go through SPX in a second. And I believe Bitcoin, although it did decouple, I think Bitcoin is starting to follow the traditional stocks again. So just want to draw in one particular trend line right now, and it's a case of, let me go back to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so really important. We've obviously got this upper trend line of this falling wedge that Bitcoin was trading in. So you gotta ask yourselves, are we going to see a retest of this trend line? Okay, so that's one thing to bear in mind. Make sure this trend line is drawn in. Let me just remove that yellow line there. I thought I'd just drawn it, but I hadn't. Brush, let's get rid of that. Okay, so I am looking at drawing a trend line from this point down here straight through. So I'm taking out this wick here. Okay, like so. Could take out that wick. Okay, so this is another interesting thing. So again, I've mentioned this many times before, but accurate trend line drawing is so important because you need to make sure you're trading in the right areas, and you need to understand what's likely to happen to the price action. Now, normally, whenever I'm drawing my trend line, I'll go off the first candle, not these ones. These ones are too close, but the first candle drop, if you like, to form that new trend line. So we've had a touch here, and then we've had a touch here. I would normally go off the first trend line drop. So what I'm going to do here, this is, to me, this is the first trend line, the first candle drop, sorry. Okay, and to me, that's where, if I were drawing accurate trend lines, right there is where I need to be placing this trend line now and drawing this trend line through. So I'm just going to double check, and I'm going to put it there, right there. Okay, so what this tells me is there's another addition to that sort of confluential area right here. Okay, so it kind of gives me a stronger opinion that we'll see a bearish retest here and potentially another test of 16.734 or a move lower. Okay, but I'm also going to draw in another trend line on this wick right here. Okay, and we can see there this kind of a different picture then. Okay, it's kind of telling us that it's held support. So has it actually held 16.734? Or are we kind of holding this trend line, knowing that this trend line is support? People are buying just above the trend line. Okay, so I'm going to leave those two in just for peace of mind, really. And what I'm looking for is a bearish retest of this area here. But if Bitcoin does lose this particular trend line and the 618, so golden target 618, 16,574 doesn't hold, and I'm fairly confident that we'll see a test of trend line down the bottom here. Okay, possibly 15,493. So what I'm looking for now, short term, and it might be for eight hours, maybe, might not even be anywhere near that, but we're looking for possibly a couple of candles. I'm looking for a bearish retest here, and then a move lower. I'm looking for a test of this trend line. If that doesn't hold, I'm looking at 16,574. I'm not looking to short here at the moment, okay, and I'm definitely not looking to long here at the moment either. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a breakdown bearish retest of probably 16,574. See that bearish retest, and we lose, the golden fib, 618 fib, then potentially short position here to trade the price action either down to 16054 or retesting this trend line. Okay, so if we retest this trend line, essentially we've still got a breakout of this previous pattern. Okay, so right now, no trade. Unless you're already in the trade, then you've already got your exit strategy put in. If you bought down here, then great. Obviously you were looking to sell in around this area. But right now, bearish retest, test of support. If support doesn't hold, then I'm looking at potentially short position. If we see a bearish retest of 15,754, I'm looking to trade that down to around about 16,054 area. Not trading advice, of course. Okay, blue line support, red lines resistance. We've got a lot of resistance overhead. Okay, so if we look at the SPX, we can see what's been happening with the SPX quite clearly over the past few days. So SPX, strong move up. Okay, really strong move up from the SPX, but hit this 200 simple moving average. Okay, gold line, 200 SMA, and the top of the pattern at the same time. Area of confluence again. And then you've got the Fed meeting coming up 13th, 14th, I believe. And basically traders are saying, enough's enough. We've had a good run up. We're at key support. A lot of people are looking to short the market in and around this area. Let's just sell our positions, wait for the Fed meeting. And then once the Fed meeting's out of the way and we understand which way the market is likely to go, then we're in a position to start trading again. So I don't think people are risking opening positions here based on where the price action is trading at the moment. Strong resistance, and remember this is a daily time frame. Strong resistance, 200 SMA, hasn't been able to break. Well, it did break it, but hasn't been able to hold it. Starting to move down now. So we're looking at support at 3907, 3808, 3686. Okay, so just have those marks. We've got a gap here, which is likely to get filled. So potentially SPX could see a strong move down to 3808. ES1 mini futures basically telling the same story. NASDAQ, again, NASDAQ. So this is going to be interesting with the NASDAQ right now, is that we're currently testing trend line again. Okay, we can see we've got good support in this area. We can see that acted as resistance, then acted as support, and certainly if you go further back as well, you can see that. So this is a really important area for the NASDAQ because not only is it key support, but it's trend line support as well. And where the NASDAQ was unable to break that support previously, okay, suddenly we're retesting this area. But we also lose, we also lose this trend line, but we also lose this strong support level as well. That happens, then obviously you're looking for a move down to 10,409. We could then bearish retest this upper trend line again and this support area. Okay, 2 support areas, and then potentially we're looking at a move lower from the Nasdaq. Okay, so depending on what the Fed does in the next coming week, will depend on which way the price action is going. But I think for now, traders are just cashing in, selling their positions, wait to see what happens with the Fed meeting, because I don't think people are sure. I think the jobs data sort of threw a spanner in the works there. And, the Fed potentially are still quite hawkish. So if they're quite hawkish, we could see where people are pricing in 50, we could see 75. And I think that's where traders are getting a bit nervous with regards to what's likely to happen with the markets. Okay, DXY has been, consistently moving down. We're starting to see a resemblance of a bounce at the moment, but I think we need to. I need to move these fibs down. I think we need to keep an eye on the DXY. Obviously, DXY goes up, and Bitcoin generally moves down. Total 2, we don't need to worry about. USDT, obviously, Bitcoin moving down, people moving back into USDT. Shorts, so shorts came down, which was understandable based on the move that we saw. This is a 4-hour time frame. This goes to the daily time frame. Starting to see a bit of a move back up as well, but nothing like I would have thought. But there was a lot of hype in the marketplace as far as social media is concerned that Bitcoin was, very likely to hit the 19s, and I think people bought into that. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that's going to happen on this occasion. But we just need to keep an eye on the market. Obviously, now the news has flipped. Everyone's now bearish. And everyone's saying that Bitcoin is going to start testing the lows. Certainly the 16,054 area where we've got this fib level. And then obviously we've got this trend line as well. So with regards to the news, it's starting to go from bullish to bearish once more. And remember, with the current state of the market, we only need that one catalyst, that one sort of FTX drama, although I don't think there'll be anything as big as the FTX drama, but it could be another exchange, another big exchange, etc. That potentially could cause this price action to drop. And you've also got to remember, the cynical side of me is that the exchanges like Binance and some of the other sort of big players, they it's in their favor for the price to drop down to, I don't know, anywhere from 11,000 to 13,000, because it's essentially going to wipe out the competition. The small exchanges are just going to get liquidated, and it's going to sort of clear the way for them to start to hold even more control. So the cynical side of me kind of thinks that for Binance, there's a need for Bitcoin to, part of their strategy, I guess, there's a need for Bitcoin to move to these really low lows, the 12, the 13,000s, because for them, and they're doing it now. You can see that they're bailing out exchanges and they're investing into, poor performing exchanges, etc. So for them, it's a way to clean up. And why would you not want the price to drop when you can eliminate 50% of the competition that's in a very easy move? And that's just the skeptical side of me, cynical side of me. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it would make sense. So to be bullish at the moment, I think is risky. I think you've just got to wait for key areas for Bitcoin to break down key areas and hold those key areas for a consecutive number of days. Wait for indicators to reset before the next move comes along. And it's very much, if you're bullish, you just need to be very, very patient. But remember to take profits where you can, unless you're a long-term hold. If you're averaging in and your strategy is, I'm going to hold for the next 5 years, and you're just going to keep buying, fine. But if the price action does drop down to 11, 12K, and I'm not saying it will do, but if it does, you want to be buying Bitcoin at that price. You essentially want to be sitting on USDT and buying Bitcoin at that price rather than holding Bitcoin right now. So it's working out what strategy is going to be best for you. So short-term scenario, I'm just watching this key area, 1693 area, and I'm looking for some sort of rejection. If not, I'm looking for volume to come in, volume confirmation to come in, and I'm looking for a catalyst to boost the price back up. And essentially, we really need Bitcoin up here now. Okay, so Bitcoin hit this target. We had a circle drawn on there. Unfortunately, I've removed that circle, but we had a circle drawn on there and in this area. Bitcoin hit that target, started to range. And then we've obviously seen this breakdown. So what happens next is quite crucial with regards to which way Bitcoin is going to go. Okay, so it's all eyes on the market at the moment. But for me, I'm looking for, and I have been for a long, long time, I'm looking for a move lower. And I'm looking for Bitcoin potentially to test these low areas. It might not be for a couple of months, but, like I say, my strategy's set. And I'm not worried about trading this area right now. I think this area, there's nothing in it for me. Area of value for me is certainly down here. Or area of value is, up here. We're seeing some good volume come in. We're seeing Bitcoin hold these key levels. Certainly these dashed lines, 17,793. Bitcoin gets above that level, then potentially, and holds a couple of days, holds above this level, indicates reset, then potentially looking to long the market. But everything right now is going to be reliant on what the Fed says. So let's wait to see what the Fed says. Let's keep an eye on the SPX, see what that's going to do over the next few days. And certainly, just be careful when trading. If you're looking to long Bitcoin at the moment, just be a little bit cautious. We've just had first breakdown, and it can be the first breakdown of quite a few breakdowns as we start to test these key support levels. So let's see what happens next and then go from there. And I'll post another update tomorrow morning. All right, cheers, guys. Thanks. Bye.